procedure is told that you must be served properly.
Sure.
Disgracer.
Personal service. We are talking about injunction. Personal service. We are talking about injunction. Injunction. An injunction must be served personally. An injunction must be served personally.
Election today. Seriously, you are a disgrace.
Cyril is a tool in the house of Che.
Chairman, please, you should call for order.
I'm sure. They be caught red-handed. The belief is like Yado. The registrar is the humble army. So you need the registrar to serve you. So you need the registrar to serve you. Thieves. No, I've done it.
How can Parliament be used to perpetrate fraud in the people of Ghana? How can we use Parliament to perpetrate fraud?
Fraud! It's fraud!
How can you use Parliament to perpetrate fraud?
This is our... It's that! It is fraud!
If you destroy the democracy, you all lose your jobs.
Take it. Azankwa.
Continue playing games with the democracy, you will lose your jobs.
Azankwa.
You will lose your life too in the process. Continue playing games.
Let him take the money.
Continue playing games with the democracy. Continue playing games. You will lose your jobs and may lose your lives. And we are all in it. Continue playing games. You think you are smarter than the Ghanaian people. You think you are smarter than the Ghanaian people. They are watching you. Continue playing games with the democracy. Continue playing games with the democracy. You will destroy it and lose your jobs. You the clerks, you will lose your jobs too. So it's criminal. It's criminal. It's criminal.
Let's hold on to this. Let's not do it. Because once you got the feedback, you can't do it.
Let the police come and arrest us. Because the police come and arrest us. Let them come and arrest us. If Kwesi for is the man, should enter here again and see what will happen to him. This is the Chamber of Parliament. Nonsense. Hey. Hey. You are right. I wouldn't wait me every day. I'm ashamed of you. You are playing with fire. Democracy. That has given you a job. And you are playing games with it. Oh.
Watching under your watch.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, unfortunately, what you claim to do, remember you are not close with the authority to do what you were trying to do. Because what you are trying to do is indirectly serving the member in the chamber. If the member is aware that there's a court injunction against him and he decides to come here to be sworn in, it is a matter for him and the court, but it is not for you, because you as a church, your duty is to tailor us through the election, but you are not close with the authority to tell us or to serve a member in the chamber. So please be mindful that you yourself, at times, you are involving yourself in an illegality. You are involving yourself in an illegality. You are not close with the power or the authority to do what you are doing. So please, yours is to draw the attention of the House, but you cannot restrict the member because the member has not been served. And if the member, like someone is claiming was in court, the member was not in court. And if the member is aware and he claims he's not aware, it is a matter for him and the court. And the court can find him contempt and charge him whatever. But it is not for you to try to serve him in the chamber. So what the steps you are taking, Mr. Clark, Chairman, you are absolutely wrong. You are absolutely wrong. That is not none of your business at all.
When that guy, his lawyer was in court. Are you telling me I've not told you? His lawyer has not told you. Some type of person that's all what? The judge, the lawyer of what? Yeah, but it's aware. You want you to be contempt. They put an injunction on the matter. What do you contempt? So it goes to jail.
The parliament is here 419.
Now the paper is getting. So now they are under.
Crack Barrow.
We continue with the proceedings.
Go ahead.
But woman cannot maybe talk.
Any seconder to the nomination of any seconder.
Chairman, I have already seconded the motion by Honorable Oseche Mensah-Bonsu. Yes, so suffice to reiterate that an earlier submission by Honorable Harun Edrusu, which invitation made a demand on you to provide a proof of service. That proof of service is always in the bosom of the bailiff. So, Mr. Chair, just for the records, so that we are all satisfied, that you as a recipient of a court process cannot have the proof of service. It is held by the bailiff, which is in her administrative record. That is the law. That is the law.
Sit down, sit down.
Chairman Clerk, we have to respond. We have to respond to that national duty that there is no interagnum in the governance leadership of the country Ghana. Therefore, this event is also time-bound. Chair Clerk, it is my contention and submission that the Honorable James Jachie Kwesen was not in court, and you yourself have admitted that you did not serve him the process. Under the circumstances, let him err on the side of law and bear the consequence in court. So let him take the oath because he's not been served any process. He will appear before court. He will appear before court for the merits of the matter to be determined. Because Chairman Clerk, I'm not sure you are clothed even with the powers of the ruling that you made as Clerk Chairman. Nowhere in our standing orders and the confusion. But allow him, since you yourself admit that you didn't serve him process, and it is not true that he was in court, we know how he got here. He's not been served. So let him err on the side of caution. He will go to court and submit himself when the court so needs him. Leader, I so submit so that we make progress.
That's all.
And that's good point. Clerk Chairman, this House cannot condone an illegality. There is even Amewu is here. Even Amewu is here. A judgment of competent jurisdiction. Even Amewu beat up a baby. This parliament knows that you sit down. You are an illegality yourself. Sit down. You'll be complicit if you give a ballot to him because he's not supposed to hold himself as an MP. That will not vote. We won't vote today. Mr. Chairman, you are boring. Sit down. You are boring. Yes, you mentioned Amewu. Amewu had an induction. Until a court of competent jurisdiction revoked, quashes it as by the Supreme Court or on appeal, is a binding order of the court. And please, we who pass law here cannot live to that. He came here, that's his matter, but this House cannot be part of an illegality. He is not supposed to hold himself up, and therefore, please go out. Move out, please. Go out. Go out. Go out.
Honorable Aruna Ibusu, do you have the consent of the Honorable?
Thank you very much.
Do you have the
Thank you very much,
Mr.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Clerk.
The consent of your
Chairman.
Please lay it on the table.
Mr. Chairman,
please lay it.
We are all arguing and acting on the assumption that there is a parliament. Mr. Chairman, as we speak, if you read Article 93 of our Constitution, we still don't have a parliament. We still don't have a parliament. Mr. Speaker, we have a gathering of MPs elect and a clerk of parliament with a very, very limited assignment. The assignment of overseeing the election of a speaker.
Yeah.
Mr. Clerk, the processes, the privileges, the immunities that members of parliament enjoy are the issues that are being debated here. But we are not yet members of parliament. We are not yet members of parliament. And therefore, your powers in relation to service of processes do not arise yet. They do not arise. And the injunction does not relate to you as a clerk. The injunction relates to a particular person. It is for the bailiffs to find that person and serve that person.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
It is for the bailiff to find that person and serve that person. Because he is not a member of parliament. He is not yet. And so you have no jurisdiction over him. Assuming, Mr. Clark, assuming Mr. Clark, he's a chairman, that's seated here, we are even to be presumed to be members of parliament. Your conduct amounts to attempting to serve a member of parliament whilst he is in parliament. Assuming that we are even to be presented as members of parliament, your conduct amounts to attempting to serve a member of parliament whilst he is in parliament. And the effect of that, Mr. Clark, is clearly unconstitutional. So the proper thing to do is to allow him to participate in the proceedings and later on deal with the consequences of the matter that is being advocated by the incoming majority leader of this house. So I urge you, Mr. Clark, Chairman, that you allow the honorable elected MP to participate in the proceedings, and your limited job of allowing us to elect a speaker, let that happen. Afterwards, we then get sworn in by the speaker. We then become members of parliament, and within the context of being members of parliament, service on us can be sent to you. But as it is now, we are not members of parliament. If we have an issue with the court, let the court find us individually and serve us.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Ayine, the former Deputy Attorney General, was the one person that made reference to Article 117 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, it was Honorable Ayine who introduced Article 117 of the Constitution in his argument. And his argument was that service would be served on a member of parliament, one. Service could be served on the clerk of parliament. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, in this argument that is on the floor of parliament, Mr. Speaker, on this argument that is on the floor of parliament, if you listen to the argument just raised by Honorable Ayariga, it is in contravention of Article 117. Mr. Chairman, they are asking you as a clerk to this house, when there has not been any speaker or the house being properly constituted, to give them proof of service on the matter. Mr. Speaker, proof of service on the matter does not lie in you. It is the court that has that proof of service. Mr. Chairman, you have been served as the clerk to Parliament, and you have brought in your evidence here as your evidence of being served. The onus per our law is not on you to give proof of service, Mr. President. And there is an order of a high court, a court of competent jurisdiction. And the honorable member, during the arguments or debates on the floor, confidently rose to show himself in defiance of the court's ruling that he should not hold himself as an MP-elect. Mr. Chair, and that is in direct contravention of the Constitution and the rules of the House. And it's actually contempt of the court. So, Mr. Chairman, I strongly believe that your evidence that you brought here is good enough. The member of member of parliament elect who is not supposed to hold himself as such should bow his head down in shame and walk out of this chamber honorably, because he is in contempt of the court and in contempt of this house. Mr. Chair, I think that the earlier ruling, you have ruled on this matter, and your earlier ruling stands. If they want to come and challenge it, the rules are clear. Come by a substantive motion. I rest my case, Mr. Chair.
Shame! Nobody's going to be called in this house again, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Trump, just get on with the voting. Let's go. What are we still here? We're making all the noise in the world. Let's get on with it for Christ's sake, Mr. Trump. You are the clerk. Please take the handle of this matter and let's get on with it. Stole my debate.
Mr. Clark. Mr. Clark. Mr. Clark. Oh, Chairman. Hey, I have something to say. How can you let Ayariga's case go? Mr. Chairman. Go ahead. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Why did Kate come?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, why?
Rockfin. Goes off.
Mr. Chairman, proceed.
Go and tell the wife. Honorable members elect, are there any other nominations? I then proceed. Honorable members elect, Article 104(4) of the Constitution provides that where, and I quote, where Parliament is considering a bill to amend the Constitution, or where the voting is in relation to the election or removal of any person under this Constitution or under any other law, voting shall be in secret. There being more than one nomination, I am enjoined under Article 104(4) of the Constitution, as well as Orders 9.1 and 110 of the Standing Orders, to proceed to conduct the election by secret ballot. Honorable members elect shall be called in alphabetical order to proceed to the dispatch box, to be given ballot papers, to record their vote by writing the name of the person or by taking the name of the person for whom they intend to vote. Honorable members elect, kindly note that you can only vote for a person who has been duly nominated and seconded. May I also inform you that this is a secret ballot, and therefore you are required to fold your ballot paper so that the name written on it is not seen by any other person when casting your vote. Thank you. Would I invite the ballot boxes and the blue bin to be brought?
chap of first now.
All right, welcome back from the Parliament House. What's happening now is the voting process, and it's been quite an interesting event in Parliament for the past 1 hour or even more. Started from the nominations that had to be then a court case against the MP-elect for Asini North, which generated a whole lot of controversy and a whole lot of confusion there. Whilst we are waiting for them to finish voting, we'll come back here into the studio for us to just briefly have some bit of discussions and also address some of had lots of messages. I have lots of messages coming from you. I'll read few, then I'll turn to my guest here in the studio for us to touch on one or two things that happen in Parliament. I have one. This one says, please, what is going on in the House? The law of the land must exclude the advantages that protect MPs from arrest or sending them from the court of the land so that they can behave themselves well. And you can tell us where you're reaching us with this particular message. This one says that I really wonder if this is the leaders we voted for. Long live Ghana. Okay. This one says that, oh Lord, these are the people we have selected to lead us. Lord have mercy. Please tell them that we are all watching them. I wonder if COVID-19 is real. When our leaders are behaving this way, Ghanaians should be expecting more increase in cases. Okay, thank you for the message. And then let's pick the final one, then I'll turn to our guest here. Okay, all right. Why is Singapore only pressing on his phones? Okay, we'll leave it there. We still have in the studio Dr. John Mensah Mauto, who is the Dean of Graduate Studies in UPSA. That's